Such a quiet weekend, huh?
I mean, there's not a lot to talk about. Might be the shortest pod we've ever done, but it's okay.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of King of the Court. We are your host. We got myself, Tyler Lung, over here, and we got the one and only Jimmy Miller over here to my right. Jimmy, am I going to have to leave at any point throughout this podcast?
No, because you're not teammates anymore. That's the best part.
Okay, so I can stay right here and
well, listen, this is a good topic that we're going to start with after our sponsors.
Yes. But first, we'd like to give a big shout out to our title sponsor of King of the Court, which is the Pickler. They are the leading indoor facility of pickleball court across the world, and go check them out if you're interested in starting your own business, being involved in pickleball. They have sold over 250 franchise locations.
Yeah. Or if you just need an indoor place to play pickleball, there's nowhere better.
I don't know if we can announce this yet, but I'm going to. If it's not ready yet, it will be in the next few days. But you can use our code KOTC to sign up for memberships at Picklers.
KOTC will
give you a discount.
A discount on Pickler memberships.
Yeah.
So I promise you, wherever you live, there will be a Pickler close by. So sign up, code KOTC.
You can almost use the code KOTC for anything. I wonder if we can do something with Amazon or something.
Amazon,
like that.
Walmart.
Yeah. Just try entering the code, see if it works. If not,
yeah, just put it in.
Yeah.
But yes, KOTC.
Pickler, they're incredible. They have beautiful facilities. The next opening, I think it's maybe Indiana and Texas.
McKinney, Texas has one coming up.
Yeah. So we may or may not be out at some of the next few openings. But yeah, Pickler, they're incredible. Check them out if you're interested in starting your own business or just purchasing a membership for indoor pickleball courts. Go check them out at thepickler.com. Use code KOTC. Next, we have Pickleball Central, the #1 online retailer in the world.
Honestly, by far, it's not even close when it comes to pickleball.
Use code KOTC to give yourself the best discount on all things pickleball.
Yep.
Okay, where do we begin?
I mean, I think let's just start. Let's just get the juicy stuff right out of the way. You know what?
Who could have ever seen it coming?
I mean,
so apparently there was a trade.
Yes.
With the Utah Black Diamonds.
So little backstory. If
you need to apologize, I feel like you should apologize.
No, I'm not apologizing for anything. But a little backstory. If you watched our last pod, which if you haven't, go back and watch it, please. Thank you. And like and subscribe. Okay, if you watched our last pod, we talked about how Tyson had essentially.
So Tyson was a teammate.
Mine. The Black Diamonds drafted Tyson. They drafted you. Everybody who is watching or watches this knows that there's a little bit of bad blood there. You sent Tyson a text.
I did.
And basically were willing to bury the hatchet and just said, hey, you know what? We actually play really well together. Let's be teammates. Yep. I'm good with it. Let's move forward. He didn't respond.
He has not as of now.
Well, he's not going to now. So then behind the scenes, we get word essentially that it sounds like he was demanding a trade. Mm-hmm. Not even sounds like he was. Mm-hmm. He was refusing the play. Even pickleball.com, by the way, confirmed that.
Yeah.
That he was demanding a trade.
Okay.
So he was refusing to play with you. And then he also...
Not only me, but another...
Yeah. Well, no, it is what it is at this point. He didn't want to play with Alex either.
Yeah.
Allegedly, he didn't want to play with Alex. She posted something from memes of pickleball, and he got his feelings hurt.
Is that why?
That's what I've heard, but I don't know if that's true or not.
No way. That's not why.
But anyways, he didn't want to play with you or Alex. He wanted to pick his own team, and he was upset that he didn't feel like he had enough of a part in that process. Mm-hmm. Okay, which again, I sent out a tweet a couple days ago saying that you should consult with the players, but if you're doing your job as a GM, the players don't get to choose, mm-hmm. right? And my guess, I don't know this for a fact, but my guess is that Tyson, because they're very close, probably wanted Jaume. Mm-hmm. And what female did he want over Alex?
That I'm not aware.
So Jaume and somebody else. I don't know who you take because Alex was the last pick in the draft. So who's better than Alex that's in Challenger?
Yeah, I don't know.
So anyways, he didn't want to play. He was very upset. A lot of complaining back and forth. He never responded to your text. I mean, you've seen the video where he was wearing the Black Diamond hats. He clearly is not comfortable saying, mm-hmm. That he's excited to play for them. There was a bunch of trades thrown around. Even at one point yesterday, there was a 4-team deal with some challenger teams.
Yeah.
One of his players from Premier was maybe having to go back to Challenger, and I know that he was not happy. But in the end, cooler heads prevailed, sort of. Tyson, I hate to say this, but he got his way.
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
Well, he won.
It depends
Orlando,
on how you. Yeah, I mean,
Orlando
it depends on
was
how
on
you
his
look
list.
at it. Yeah.
So Tyson goes to Orlando. So now it's Fed, Tyson, Vivian David, Paris Todd, and Jay DeVilliers, the Flying Frenchman, the most handsome man in pickleball, according to the mom.
Yes.
Comes to Utah, and your Vulcan teammate.
Yes.
And Orlando sent $50,000 as well.
Yep.
To Utah. So your team is now Jay, you, Callie, and Alex.
Correct.
Jay and Callie have played a lot together. You've played with Jay in the past. You have a good relationship. You just went to dinner in North Carolina together. It's like a 4-hour dinner.
Yeah.
And then obviously Alex is here. You can train with Alex. She has the same coach as you.
Yeah.
And, she's one of the up-and-comers of the sport. So I think that you guys got better because you got – and Jay's out playing Tyson this year.
Thus far,
yes.
Yeah, this far.
You got a upset, disaffected player virus off of your roster. Now, Orlando, if they get a motivated, happy, good Tyson – healthy, probably got better as well because him and Fed did have decent results in Miami last year. He's played with Paris in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, he could play with Vivian David because she's just solid on the right. But
I would imagine he'd play with Paris, though.
I would too. But that team, I talked about that team feeling like there was 4 decent players, but they never it's weird how they fit. All the pieces fit. But now I actually think Tyson might fit a little bit better on that team.
Yeah.
But that leads me to my next point. Should he have gotten his way? Should you be able to so let me back up real quick. MLP, PPA, fight.
Do
merger.
I need to leave? I feel
No. The whole Tour Wars thing, okay? That Tour Wars thing probably does not happen if Tyson McGuffin, who was one of the biggest names on tour, doesn't choose MLP and literally is like the first domino to fall. He was the biggest name and he chose MLP first. He was part of that top-notch crew and he chose MLP over PPA. That was that was the big first domino and everyone's like, oh shit, Tyson's going to MLP, and a bunch of players followed.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, okay, we have a top 5 player. We have a huge name. We have one of the biggest, I'll give him all the credit in the world, one of the biggest brands in the sport, right? And he chose his MLP. So if you choose MLP, how can you complain when you get on a team you don't like? You're choosing the team aspect. He literally could have stuck with PPA and picked his partners for the rest of his career. Now you get on MLP and you're pissed about your team?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me at all. It's a team sport. That's what you chose over PPA. And he's upset about his team. I just watched women's NCAA finals, Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Shout out Caitlin Clark. You think she watches the pod?
Yeah, for sure.
Big fan?
Yeah, big fan.
Anyways, you think she loves all of her teammates? No, of course not.
Yeah.
Right? Do you think the NFL, NBA, any other sport love their teammates? All of them?
So this is more in line with what we're talking about, but I talked to somebody who had the worst record in 1 or 2 seasons ago with a team.
Yeah.
And I talked to him about the situation and he said, do you think I enjoyed my team? He said, no, but I got up every single time. I competed. I gave it my all, and here we are.
What's worse for your brand? Forcing a trade, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. So in the end, there's no way that this is going to, if he's worried about his brand and he's worried about how he looks, there's no way for him to come out of this looking like a hero, looking unscathed.
Yeah. Now,
with that being said, look, there's beef there. Okay. We thought it was funny. Clearly he took it very, very personal.
You can't make me laugh because every time I laugh, people think that I'm agreeing with you 100%.
Yeah.
And that's just not the case.
He took it personal. The weird thing is that now he's taking this moral superiority high ground and acting like he did nothing wrong and he's this great guy and he never said anything about us. Obviously, there are receipts. For the few people that watch his podcast, go check it out.
You weren't there, but when he flipped me off, everyone talks about him flipping me off. I don't care about that. That's funny. I actually laughed about that. That was hilarious. But what followed after that was actually disturbing. What he said after that was insane. No, I'm not going to say it.
He was screaming.
Oh, he was screaming for about a minute.
Yeah.
Going off. And you look in the rows, the people in the rows, they were stunned.
Yeah. And so, look, again, Kyle McKenzie on his show called you arrogant, right? Like there's lots of things where it was just a lot of back and forth. I'm fine letting this whole thing die. Like, again, at the end of the day, we literally didn't bring him up for 5 months on the show.
Yeah.
They still obviously have an issue with us, so let them have their issue. Look, if he stays healthy, he's a solid player. Mm-hmm. He's a good brand for the sport, right? The Squeeze is probably the most known brand. They probably do the best job of.
They got the best logo.
They probably do the best job of advertising of trying. They have. I mean, you got the owners of the Orlando Magic own the Squeeze, so they get to go to Magic games. We get to watch Anna Bright with her horrendous shooting form.
She's not proving on the Squeeze, right?
Well, I'm saying last year, proving that pickleball players are not athletes.
Which, we need to talk about that as well.
Yeah. There's all sorts of things. And so it's probably a good fit for him. It's probably a good fit for his brand.
Yeah.
So in the end, he does come out okay. But how much did he tarnish himself by forcing this? I mean, if you read any comment, like I hope that the McGuffins are staying off social media because every post about the trade, every post on Twitter, he is getting destroyed, like literally getting absolutely killed.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you were the one that took the high road and said you'd be willing to play with him.
Even now, I'd still take it. Like, does he need to apologize? I actually think so. But do I care? No. But if we had the same goal, the same objective, I'd still be fine working it out. So,
I don't know. I think we let it where it is what it is at this point. He forced his way out. He threw a fit. I don't know if tattoos make your skin thinner, but whatever it is, he's out. You have Jay now. I think that Utah will still have a chance to be a solid team. Orlando, I mean, like you said, we'll see. We'll see how they do, but it's just wild to me that like you can't choose the team aspect.
Well, not only that, I mean, you talked about it briefly, but there were other teams that were in talks, but
no, nobody. let's call it what it is. Like nobody wanted him. Yeah. I mean, let's just be honest.
The trades didn't make sense.
None of the trades made sense. Yeah. But what's crazy is this was the only. There was one trade for him.
Yeah.
Literally,
and this was a number 1 for a number 4, a number 3 pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there was no other trades. Like we went down the list and like we're like, okay, what about Tyson for Deckel? That wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? What about Tyson for Connor Garnett? That wasn't going to happen because James.
Yeah.
What about? I mean, you go through all these players.
I just think that speaks volume if that's happening.
Yeah, for sure.
So, anyways, all right, moving on.
Okay.
It is one other thing I wanted to brush on. My boy, your boy, Christian Alshon, set the world on fire last week. He made a tweet.
His tweet.
He said, where'd it go?
It's a great tweet.
Okay. He says, pickleball has made me a much better athlete than tennis ever did. Faster reaction time and speed are needed since the ball is only coming from 10 feet away. Point for point, pickleball requires more skill than tennis.
And now, by the way, 1.4 million people have viewed that.
Yeah.
And he got responses from James Blake,
Nick Kyrgios, Andy Roddick, a bunch of other tennis players.
But I mean, everybody jumped all over him on that.
Yeah.
And of course, the tennis players defended the tennis players.
What are your thoughts?
No pickleball players came to his rescue. Let me just be clear. I think it's very interesting.
I did. I said, nice tweet.
I think that also James Blake said, you don't understand because you never played high level tennis.
I'm going to add, to my knowledge, Christian Alshon, he did play high level college tennis. He played at Virginia.
Yeah, he played D1.
That's a top 5 school.
Yeah, he did. He played D1 tennis. Yeah. And I think that James Blake was more looking at his University of Chicago after he left Virginia.
Yeah.
And saw that he was D3.
Yeah.
But Christian was a good tennis player. Mm-hmm. So, and Christian actually saying that he will play James Blake.
Yes, for $100,000.
For $100,000 right now.
Yeah.
Incredible. So, with that.
That's the match we need to see.
Yes. With that being said, they went back and forth. They're fighting, arguing. Yeah. I mean, the pickleball versus tennis debate is never going to go away.
No.
Ever. Do I think that it takes more athleticism to play pickleball than tennis? No.
How can you say that?
I think because of the larger court size, and I think that takes more speed and athleticism in tennis. Yes. Do I think that your reaction time and things like that are definitely better in pickleball, need to be better in pickleball than tennis? Yes. And the biggest thing that we have seen is none of these tennis players have come over and dominated.
Yes.
That's the other thing. Jack Sock was a top tennis player.
Yeah.
Is Jack Sock dominating?
Not yet. He's had one or two really good runs, but I wouldn't say dominating.
Has he even medaled yet?
Well, I mean, with
Annalee, last year, but him and Tyson, the same tournament, lost first round to Roddy and Dobrin.
Yeah, yeah.
So, again, like he's not dominating, right? Sam Querrey.
I saw Sam the day of when Christian tweeted this, and I went up to Sam and I said, "Sam, what's harder, tennis or pickleball?" And he laughed and he said, "Probably pickleball."
Yeah. See, I mean, they're not. I mean, these aren't like slouches that are coming over from tennis to play.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Jeannie Bouchard was top 5 in the world.
Yeah. Though she's starting to get much better.
Okay, she is, but she picked up a win over Lauren Stratman in singles.
Yeah.
And
it was windy.
And she picked up a mixed doubles win over Steve Deacon and Michelle Esquivel. Like, if it was 2016, then that would have been impressive. You know what I'm saying? But like we're excited that she's winning those matches. Yeah. Which tells you all you need to know about her learning curve.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of other ones too, right? I mean, Alshon was in Challenger last year, and he's a tennis guy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so I just don't think that these guys feel like they can just come over and dominate.
Yeah, we haven't seen it. We saw that Noah Rubin guy. He was a top 300 player, which I mean a lot of people
won Junior Wimbledon.
Yeah, I mean that's not bad.
Yeah. And he quit.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's young. He's 25, 23.
So I'm saying he quit. He couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's harder than people think. And so while I think Christian is just riling people up and he got a lot of clicks and he got what he was asking for.
Yeah.
He's not like 100% wrong in his assessment.
Yeah.
In that, there is a massive learning curve there.
Yeah.
And if there wasn't, then we would see more. I mean, if you were top 1,000 tennis player, right, and you come over to pickleball, the money, ideally, if if you can be Ben Johns, if you think you're that good, then the money would be better.
Yeah.
Probably even top 500, the money's better.
Yeah.
Top 250.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, I don't think this debate will ever end, but it is interesting, like you said, how we haven't seen any of these players, tennis players, top level tennis players come over, and every single one of them, they know about it. They've heard about pickleball. And
they play it.
Yeah.
They're playing it.
Yeah.
Jack Sock's been playing pickleball since what, 2016, 2017?
Yeah. And I heard he's been playing a lot.
Yeah. They play pickleball. They like it.
Yeah.
They obviously are always going to complain because there's that weird, I don't know, ego thing between pickleball and tennis. But people like tennis players like pickleball. Let's just be honest.
But I think it is interesting because you look at these insanely athletic athletes from basketball, from football, come over to play pickleball, and they are horrendous.
Bro, we have NFL Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Some of the best NFL players ever.
Yeah.
And we watch them play pickleball, and it is atrocious.
Yeah.
Like, they look so uncoordinated. They look like a giraffe on roller skates.
Yeah.
It's insane. I mean, and there's some really good players. And even you look at a guy like Golden Tate, right? Golden's a buddy of mine. He was a great receiver in the NFL, great receiver in college, right? Won the Blitnikoff Award.
Yeah.
And Golden's good. He's fine, but he's probably still only a 4 or 5. He's not anywhere near ever going to be like a pro level player.
Yeah.
And he gets to balls that a lot of guys don't get to, but he's okay. Drew Brees, right?
Yeah.
Drew Brees played junior tennis. He beat Andy Roddick. And he's 4-0-ish.
Yeah, probably 4-5.
4 or 5-ish. Yeah. Marcellus Wiley was a top defensive lineman in the NFL, and he might be a 2-5.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
Yeah. Just the whole notion that pickleball is for the lesser athletes or it doesn't take talent, I just don't agree with. And I don't know why everyone loves to compare tennis and pickleball. I feel like the past couple of years it's actually gone down.
Who is the best pro athlete other than tennis player to play that's at pickleball? That's not a tennis player.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. I don't know.
I mean, Casey Patterson's pretty good.
Yeah, he played pro volleyball.
Yeah. I know Chris Humphreys, former NBA player.
I think Drew Brees could actually be pretty good, but he doesn't play tournaments.
No, his strokes look good. Yeah, his strokes actually look really good.
Larry Fitzgerald, he's 4'5", 5'0". He's 5'0".
No.
He's 5'0".
Larry's rough, dude. Larry was rough.
He's 4'5".
He might be a 4'0". Larry. I was a little bit disappointed in Larry. I'll be honest.
Okay.
I thought he'd be better.
Moving on. All right. So we had a big weekend last week. It was a progression draw tournament, PPA North Carolina. The venue was beautiful. The first day, it started on a Monday. The first 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, the weather was incredible. And then it rained. Then tournament started and it rained. And luckily for them, they did have an indoor backup. And so they were able to move things along slightly, albeit a slower pace.
But it sounds like there's wind all weekend, right?
Wind, man. I've been the biggest proponent of more indoor tournaments. But yeah, I mean, wind was a factor for sure.
Yeah.
Ben, Annalie get their triple crowns.
Yeah.
Annalie hits her 100th win.
Yeah. So
or title.
Mean, there's rumors that Annalie wasn't playing in a few tournaments so she could get her 100th win in North Carolina and have it be in a bigger tournament.
Yeah. I think that's where she was from or born, or she has family out there.
Yeah. So it sounds like that was kind of the plan all along, and she pulled it off.
Yeah.
She deserves all the credit in the world. 100 gold medals at 17 is no joke.
Does she surpass 200?
Yeah. Yeah. She's been playing since she was 12.
I think she does, but I think it's going to be a lot slower.
Yeah, I think so too. It's going to get harder and harder.
Yeah.
But if she started playing at 14, started winning at 14, so she's about 3 years now. And we know that her and Lee weren't winning a ton of golds when she was playing with her mom.
Yeah.
So really it's been the last 2 years where she's really accelerated.
Yeah. So for singles, I don't foresee anybody beating her in singles, at least consistently.
Although Leia had her, dude.
She did
11-9, 11-9, yeah.
But consistently.
Consistently.
And then also in women's doubles.
Yeah, consistently.
I don't see it.
I mean, here's the thing. We can go through real quick, but if you
maybe mixed doubles is more of a lock than women's doubles. I don't know. I think 2 of the 3 she's pretty.
But this is what's crazy. This is the one thing that's crazy, right? So let's start with women's doubles. Okay, we'll start North Carolina women's doubles. Anna Bright and Rachel Rohrabacher beat Annalie and Catherine, right? Mm-hmm. And they're the first team to knock them off, and their undefeated streak. Okay. Yes. But those 2 lost to Sarah Ansbury and Audrey Bonata.
Yes.
In North Carolina. Mm-hmm. That's a loss that you will never see out of Annalie and Catherine. Mm-hmm. Right? Annalie and Catherine would never have, no offense, but that's a bad loss. Mm-hmm. Congrats to Sarah and Audrey. I watched that match. They played well. But you would never see Annalie and Catherine lose that. They win that game 11-1, 11-1. Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest difference. So, yes, consistently, who's going to knock them off? I don't think that there's anybody out there that consistently can beat them.
Yeah.
So, just looking at that entire draw, that was there's upsets all weekend, by the way.
Yes. Yep.
All weekend, that was.
Especially on the men's side.
Especially on the men's side, yes. Yeah. But that was a big upset.
Yeah. Oh, did you see, where are they at? The Brashes lost to.
Yeah. So the Brashes.
To Rachel Summers. Wait. No.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. But the Brashes ended up losing to
Vivian and
Lacey.
Yeah.
Jackie and Lucy lost to Tyra and Paris. Mm-hmm. Paris and Tyra also beat Leia and Callie. Mm-hmm. And then Vivian and Lacey end up beating Tyra and Paris. And they go to the freaking gold medal match.
And then the bronze medal, Etta, was sick.
Yeah, I guess she's been sick all weekend, and you saw it in her play. She didn't seem like she was herself.
Gotcha.
So, but Viv and Lacey ended up losing to Annalie and Catherine. Did you have Vivian David and Lacey Schneeman in the finals of this event?
I did not know.
On your bingo card?
Nope.
Yeah. So anyways, that was interesting. So that's Annalie. There's number one.
I love to see it though. I love to see upsets.
And
I love
honestly,
to see new
faces. I think that they play well together. Lacey's got a lot of power for a little thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Moving on to what? We'll do women's singles.
Okay. So women's singles.
Jeannie Bouchard picks up her first.
Yeah. Big win.
Draw win
for Jeannie over Lauren Stratman.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened with Lauren, honestly. Like, she has fallen off.
It was windy that day. Like,
I know, but they're both playing in the wind.
Yeah.
Lauren has fallen off further than anybody has fallen off in pickleball. Like, she's fallen off a cliff, and Julian is not there to help her because he was awful too. Wait till we get to that match. But yeah, good win for Jeannie.
Salome and Catherine. Catherine beat Salome.
Yeah, so Salome beats Catherine. So the best match, honestly, of the whole tournament was Leia versus Annalie. Mm-hmm. Leia was down 10-1, I think.
Jeez.
And then came all the way back, got that first game to 10-9, and then Annalie closed it out on a very, very questionable call.
Do you have any rants you want to go on line calls?
Well, it's just tough because in that match, I felt like Annalie, again, I think everybody's calling lines the best they can. I don't know if there's blatant cheaters out there other than Salome. But with that being said, Annalie made 5 calls in that match, in 2 games. She lost 3 challenges. The other 2 Leia did not have timeouts for, and the replays showed that Annalie was probably wrong. So that's 5 missed calls in 2 games. And unfortunately, and one of them, there wasn't a good angle. So I guess I'm at least 4.5, I'll say.
Speaking out of turn, Jimmy.
But
weird.
I will say that it's tough when you are playing the game is where if it's close, it's out.
Yeah.
And that's how she was calling her lines. If it was close, it was out. And Leia was winning the challenges. And even game point in game 1 looked like it was in, but Leia was out of challenges.
I thought you could challenge if it was a game ending point and you did not have timeouts.
Is it game ending or match ending?
I thought it was game ending.
I know they didn't look at it. But I mean, Leia was ripping the ball. She was hitting her angles. She was playing really, really well. That was a close match. She had Annalie game 2, same thing. She was up in game 2, like 9-6 or something. And yeah, Annalie battled back. But I mean, again, it was reminiscent of, last year when Leia was so close to beating her. So we'll see if Leia can get back to that. And then Leia goes to beat Salome in the bronze match. That's another good win.
Yeah. Little lopsided 11-7, 1-11, 11-1.
Yeah. You see that more in singles, I think, than anything, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of streaks or runs that happen.
Yeah. So another win for Annalie. Weird.
Okay, real quick, we're going to interrupt this broadcast with a big shout out to our next sponsor, C&D Pickleball Nets. Thank you for sponsoring this segment. We love your nets. They make these incredible pickleball nets that you can put in your churches, in your gyms, on your driveways, in your backyard. I said this last time, but I'm putting in a pickleball court in my backyard. I will be using the best pickleball net out there, and it is a C&D pickleball net. Jimmy?
No bolts or screws.
No bolts or screws. Yep.
High quality.
You don't have to worry about it being flimsy or blowing over.
It's not blowing in the wind.
Yep.
C&D, check them out. Honestly, obviously we've seen a lot of nets. There's each tour uses their own nets. Nothing is better than C&D.
Yeah. Invest in a good net. It's going to be the best, honestly, probably the best investment for a pickleball court that you can do.
You will have fewer Colin Johns eye rolls with the C&D net than a cheap temp net.
Use code KOTC on their website, which is bestpickleballnets.com.
Yep.
And you can save a little bit of money. It helps support us, and you're also getting the best product out there. Okay, moving on. What do you want to go into next? Men's doubles?
Yeah. Well, let's go men's doubles.
Okay.
So Ben and Colin. So first of all, Christian Alshon was knocked out in all 3 events by Ben, and he won the first game in all 3 events. Christian did, and then lost the next 2 in singles, men's doubles, and mixed doubles.
Okay.
Is he going to have nightmares about Ben Johns?
He's going to grow up stronger, come back even stronger.
Is he?
Yeah.
Did you see him after their mixed match?
No, I was
on the bench, and he was like, I'm like, dude, are you okay? It was weird. Jackie couldn't get her stuff and get out of there fast enough. She was a little bit concerned for her safety.
Okay. Any fun matches or anything you want to touch on?
Yeah. So you and Julian, let's talk about that. You guys played Brandon French and Ivan Djokovic. How do you even say it?
Yankovic. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where's
Ivan. Brandon and Ivan. Okay. It was very windy.
Right here. Yep.
So it was on Grandstand 2. So if you guys
you're also skipping our first match. We almost lost our first match.
Yeah.
We won in 3.
You guys played Moda
and Ross. And Ross is the guy that beat Julian earlier that day because this is a progression draw. And so he played him that same day, and Julian lost to him off of he got disqualified because he was throwing his paddle and stuff like that. So Julian
got mad?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Shocking. So he got disqualified, and then Julian played mixed doubles, and they lost to Todd Fote and
Maggie
Brasha. Yep. And so he was 0-2, and then we played the same guy that he played in singles, and we lost the first game, and it was just really tough for us to get going.
And then you pulled it out?
Yeah, we were able to figure it out, yeah.
And then you guys play Ivan and Brandon French, and you were down like 10-0 in game 1.
Yeah, it was a bad game. Yeah,
you got a couple points at the end. I think that gave you momentum going into game 2. And then game 3, it was back and forth. I feel like
the whole match was fairly back and forth in terms of bickering and
yeah. So you can go watch this. It's on Grandstand 2, and the crazy thing is it's like the players are mic'd up, right? And so
there's a lot that you can't hear. I went back and listened to a little bit of it, and there's still quite a bit that you cannot hear.
Yeah. But Julian and Brandon are just going at it. I mean, and Julian's like yelling. He's like, "That's our mark. That's our guy." And like pointing and telling him that his hands aren't fast enough. And then Brandon hit a winner. And there was one point where Julian, I think it was the end of game 2, Julian said something about Brandon's line calls and also basically, he called him all sorts of things. It was crazy. But Julian needs to really work on that high backhand put away. He hit that out a lot.
Yeah.
I just feel like, again, him and Lauren, I don't know what's happening, but they just seem like they are a little bit.
I think this tournament was, I'm making excuses. I'm always making excuses. But this tournament was a little bit interesting just with the weather and then the MLP. A lot of the players were anxious. A lot of them were nervous. A lot of them were playing when the draft was going on or when people were getting phone calls. And so it was a little bit different than other tournaments. With that said, players should still be able to weather the storm, fight through it, play through it. But yeah, it was definitely a different tournament in my perspective.
Yeah. So big upsets. Augie, Guh, and Jaume beat James Ignatowicz and Matt Wright. So literally within like an hour, James Ignatowicz and Anna Bright lose in mixed, and they lose in men's.
Yep.
James loses men's, and Anna loses in women's. Like literally, like all.
Yeah.
Back to back. Like it was a rough
real quick. I need to make an apology. In the Discord, it was brought to my attention that some people thought I was throwing a little bit of shade towards Augie.
Augustus.
Yeah, because they say he's like similar to me because he kind of looks like my nationality.
Because he's a left-handed Asian. We can call him that. That's okay.
And so I want to put that out there. I love Augie. He's probably one of the nicest people out there. I think he has insane potential. We've talked about this before, but my biggest gripe with a lot of players who have had 1 or 2 good tournaments, it seems like they get a lot of hype.
Yeah.
And then they fall off. A lot of people brought up Brendan Long. He had 1 or 2 or 3 incredible tournaments. And then after that. And so I'm just always pointing that out. I'd like to see players do this for 3, 4, 5, 6 tournaments where they have decent results before I start saying, hey, this guy is really good. And so I think Augie is incredible lefty. Him and Jaume, they had incredible run. That's impressive to not only upset 1 or 2 teams, but to do it time and time again.
What's crazy is they were against Hayden and Callan. There was multiple match points on both sides.
There's 1 or 2 for Callan and Hayden.
Yeah.
1 or 2.
And that ended up going 14-12. So they almost ended up losing that one. But then they beat Hayden Callan. Then they freaking roll Pablo and Fed.
Yeah.
They absolutely rolled them, make it to Championship Sunday. And they actually they started lobbing Ben and Colin. And their lobs, I'm not sure.
Were they going over Colin?
Yeah, cross court.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they missed. Like their lobs were perfect every time. They end up winning game 2. Of course, Ben and Colin are going to adjust and they pull it out. But Augie now has a great run with Tyra.
Mm-hmm.
He has a great run with Jaume. Again, he lost in the qualifiers for mixed, but he's showing that he can obviously hang with the best. And so I see why he's made it to Premier.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. You know, he's going to play with Tyra in Premier. He's going to get to play with J-Dub.
Those are good partners.
Yeah. So I mean, and I think we'll see more of Augie and Jaume, except Red Rock. Mm-hmm. It's you and Jaume.
Yep, I'm with Jaume. So
he gets the OG lefty Asian.
The before last tournament, my next 4 tournaments, I have 4 different partners.
In mixed too?
I don't know about mixed.
Oh,
no, not mixed, but in men's. I don't know if that's good or bad.
So you have Jaume. You have Christian this weekend.
So I had Julian. I have Christian. I have Jaume, and then DJ.
Okay. Black Bear.
Yeah. So it's fun mixing it up, but there's also something to be said about having slightly more consistency.
Yeah. And then Tyson and Deckel made it to the semis. They lost to Ben and Colin pretty handily. I think it was like 1-5.
1-3.
1-3. Yeah. And then they lose in the bronze medal match to Fed and Pablo. So Fed and Pablo medal again. There's rumors that Fed and Pablo were talking about breaking up and talking about maybe playing with other partners, but I don't know. I mean, it would be, I feel like it'd be a Riley Newman situation where they're doing fine, but do they feel like they can do better? Like they're never going to be Ben and Colin.
Exactly.
So that would be interesting. If
so what do you do if you're in their situation? Do you ride it out or do you try?
I mean, they've been partners for a year and a half. Mm-hmm. I think it's probably time for a change just to see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you want to be the 3rd or 4th best men's team, or do you want to take a shot at the best?
I think everybody wants to take a shot at the best, but you look at Riley and...
Well, they're doing it smart, though. They didn't just break up and then go find partners.
They're talking,
They're talking to other people, is what I heard, hoping to see what's out there before they make that decision.
Yeah.
Right? Because nobody wants to break up and then they're stuck with worse, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyways, it was a good run. I mean, again, Ben and Colin, like in the end, there with all these upsets, we still end up with Ben and Colin. Yep. Ben with the Triple Crown, Annalie with the Triple Crown.
Yep.
Which is just crazy because leading up to it, there were so many upsets.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving on, men's singles. So there was the best match in men's singles was the Connor Garnett. Not the best match, but Connor Garnett and Fed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it was Connor or if it was Fed that asked for line judges, but one of them asked for line judges. Connor wins game 1, 11-1. They get to game 2. Connor hits a winner.
Mm-hmm.
It was a winner. And he calls it like the game's over and the line judge overrules him. Mm-hmm. And according to, now I couldn't get a good look. I tried, but it looked like the line judge was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like Connor made the right call and the line judge was incorrect. Mm-hmm. So if he was the one that called for the line judges, they may have come back to bite him here.
Yeah, and that's the reason why a lot of players don't like the line judges is because they trust the opinion of their opponents more than the line judges.
Yeah. And so Connor ends up losing that game, and then he ends up losing the match to Fed.
Yeah, and he was, I think he was down 9-0 or even 10-0 in the third game.
In the third, yeah.
It seemed like he just kind of checked out, lost it a little bit.
Yeah, and so then obviously Fed gets to his 6th straight singles final.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's incredible. Insane.
Yeah. Then he takes game 1 off of Ben, and then the next 2, Ben does what Ben does and ends up beating him. Ben gets the gold, and then Connor Garnett beats Christian Alshon.
I watched Ben Johns versus Christian Alshon. I thought that was a pretty good match.
Yeah.
Christian Alshon wins the first game, 11-6. And then there was a point in the second game where Alshon gets overruled. And I think that switched momentum significantly.
So if you go back and you go watch mixed, where you watch Alshon and Jackie against Ben and Annalie, you go watch Thomas and Alshon, just game 1. Thomas and Alshon against Ben and Colin, and then go watch game 1 of Christian versus Ben. Christian Alshon in those game 1s looks like the best player on the planet.
Yeah.
In all 3 of those game 1s, especially that men's match. He looks like the best player on the planet, and then he can't sustain that level through 3 games. But for those 1 games, that 1 off, he is incredible. I mean, he outplays Ben. He outplays everybody. He's the best player on the court.
Yeah.
But then over the course of 3 games, Ben obviously gets it dialed in, and that's what makes Ben so tough, right? Is he figures it out, he makes adjustments. And Christian, it's probably extremely hard to maintain that same level of play and that same energy for 3 games.
Real
it's
quick,
almost like Ben waits for him to like blow his wad and then, you know what I'm saying?
Real quick, let's give a big shout out to Jonathan Medina Alvarez, I think, JMA.
Yeah.
So I played him in the round of 64. He had to go through qualifiers. Yeah. And I meet him, and I've seen him. He's been playing on the APP tour a little bit. And first thing 42, I think. Yeah. Incredible shape. First thing he says to me when we go up to the court, on the court, he says, "I love your pod." Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, great. This is great." Anyways, he ends up beating me. I win the first game. He wins the next 2. He goes on to play Jack Sock. Yeah. He loses the first game. Yeah. Wins the next 2. He goes on to play Xiaomei. He loses the first game, wins the next 2. Incredible. And then he plays Connor Garnett and loses.
What a run, though.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And he was down a game in all 3 of those.
Yeah, all 3 of those, yeah.
Yeah, dude, he's a stud. I know he was so somebody related him to me to Tina Pisnik, saying that, like, obviously his age, but also he was a really high-level tennis player, 20 years ago. And then he's been playing pickleball more recently. Yeah. I think he actually has a full-time job. I can't remember what he does, but...
I think he's full-time pickleball now. I think he is? Yeah, I think it's fairly recent, but I'm pretty sure
he's full-time. He's the nicest guy. He's got freaking quadzillas. Yeah. His quads are huge, by the way. Yeah. Bigger than Tim Parks. And yeah, he's a stud, and he's a really good singles player. Okay. So, good run.
All right, last event was mixed doubles.
So mixed again, upset city.
Okay, what were some of the more notable upsets?
So I would say that Anna Bright and James Ignatowicz end up losing to your favorite people,
Todd Fote
and Maggie Brasha. So here's an interesting fun fact. Todd and Maggie are a pretty new partnership because Hayden and Maggie were playing. Hayden's decided to play some with Leia. I don't know all the backstory, but now essentially Maggie had to pick up a few new partners, so she picks up Todd. Right? So they go and they beat Paris and Julian. And when they beat Paris and Julian, I was like, oh, that's a great win. But it's progression draw. So that's one day. So then the next day, they play James and Anna. And we said this because we recorded our pod, and I said on our pod, someone said, what's the difference between Challenger and Premier? And I said, consistently beating these teams. Right? Can you beat them? You go and beat Paris and Julian. Can the next day you turn around and beat the next player? Yeah. And so then they go beat Anna and James. And they didn't just beat Anna and James. They smacked them. Like it was 4-7. They crushed them. Now they have to play Maggie's former partner, Hayden, and Leia, who are coming off an 11-4, 11-2 win over Matt and Lucy and have been playing extremely well together. And they freaking beat them in 3. So Todd and... it was crazy. The other big team that made a massive run was my favorite person, former Black Bear, Tina Pisnik, and Deckelbar.
Yeah, so they played McGuffin and Megan, second round. Yeah. They won in 3. And then they go on to play Catherine Parento and Jack Sock. And Jack Sock and Catherine also had at least 1 match point.
Yeah. Tina was so steady in that match. If you watch the end of that match... Tina was insanely steady, and they were hitting 80% of the balls to Jack.
What are your thoughts on Jack and Catherine? Because this is what, the 5th, 6th tournament of the year?
Yeah, I just think Jack.
So I think I asked you this a while ago. I said, if they are not having results, at what point do they split up?
I think we probably see them play through the end of April. Well, I heard Catherine's not playing Houston. Is Jack?
I don't know.
Jack's playing with Elise in what tournament?
Red Rock.
Yeah. So I think Catherine's taking some time off too. So if that's true, then we'll see. If Jack has results with Elise better than he has with Catherine, maybe we'll see some sort of change there. But yeah, I think that it's getting close because they haven't even made a final, have they?
I don't think so. They've had a couple really close matches.
They've had
really
some
close
semi-runs and some,
But I don't think so. Yeah. So pretty interesting because in my opinion, Catherine's probably a top 3 female.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially in mixed.
Yeah, easily top 3. So Tina and Deckel end up beating Todd and Maggie. And then they end up playing Annalie and Ben, and they played them close the first game, and then it just got worse and worse.
Yeah.
But dude, Tina, the ranchers took her. I said it was a good pick. A lot of people said that it was a reach at 30 because she was from Challenger last year.
But at the time, was it? I mean, in hindsight, you can say that.
No, it wasn't, because look at her results for the whole year.
Yeah.
She has good results and good wins.
Yeah.
Like she's getting better and better. And she outplayed Catherine in that match. That's the thing, is she outplayed Catherine. And then in the bronze, Todd and Maggie actually played freaking Thomas and Viv tough.
10-9.
Yeah, they played them tough.
12-10, 11-9.
So congrats to Todd, Weber State. Great.
Yeah.
And Maggie, the nicer of the Brasha sisters.
Oh, man. Are you blocked by her too?
No, I don't think so. Maggie.
How many people have blocked you? We know Tyson, Brasha. Who else?
Tyson and Mary is all I know.
There's got to be more that you're just not aware of.
My goal is to get the whole Miami Pickleball Club from last year to block me. I got half.
Is Johnny Pickleball blocking you?
No way. Johnny Goldberg is their GM.
Johnny Goldberg.
Johnny Goldberg's my guy. Fed will never block me. Tyra will never block me. We're good.
Oh, man. I remember playing them in MLP, and the amount of trash talking that I was getting for you was pretty funny, because you weren't even there.
Yeah.
And they were all yelling, "Where's Jimmy? Where's Jimmy?"
Johnny Goldberg is that dude. Yeah. He's a guy, like, you can't help but like him.
Yeah.
Honestly, one of the best dudes. So, but he is a great trash talker.
Okay. Thank you for making it thus far. We'd like to give a big shout out to our next sponsor, which is Vulcan Pickleball. They are the official ball of the PPA Tour. And also the official title ball of KOTC.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
What's bigger, being the official ball of PPA or the official ball of KOTC?
You know, I used to would have said PPA, but I honestly think it's slowly turning to our favor, KOTC.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we have
we have
so many subscribers and so many views.
Would the KOTC pickleball team have drafted Tyson to be your partner? Because the PPA pickleball team did.
Okay, we have questions now. All right,
let's do it.
By the way, if you've made it this far, please do us a big favor. Hit that like and subscribe button.
Will this ball become the official ball of the Black Diamonds now that you have Jay and Tyler?
TBD. I don't think they've announced an official ball for MLP yet.
No, I was told there's 3 balls in the running.
Gotcha.
Just the FYI for everybody that wants the official ball of MLP. It's not there yet.
Okay. All right, we got some questions.
Uh-oh.
Should we read who this one's from, or just read the question?
Oh, I mean, you can read who it's... Well, yeah, he doesn't mind.
Okay. Xiaomei, he sent in a question. He said, "How are the new Yola paddles still legal? That's just a joke or something." Thoughts?
He's not... Yeah, I mean, it's insane. That paddle... We lost our ball, but that paddle, that Alpha, is nuts. It's out of control. It makes the gearbox look like an owl paddle. That thing is literally the hottest paddle. You hear the ball come off of it. I hear they're releasing them to the public the 16th. But I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious how that works out, because those paddles are insane. And what's funny is it was only a year ago that Ben John sent out a tweet about basically paddles and how they're...
And it was against Xiaomei.
Yep. It was against his 6-0.
It's a full circle.
Yeah. Saying that how basically if they don't do something about paddles and paddle technology and all these things, and then Yola catches up, and Ben, we haven't heard anything from you, Ben. We haven't heard a peep out of Ben. So yeah, I mean, they've got to do something about it. I'm really curious with this new UPA, now that United Pickleball, it sounds like they're going to have their own everything, their own governing body, their own everything, if they put restrictions on paddles.
Yes, I would 100% agree. They need to do that. And it's funny because when we had Leia on the podcast, I wasn't making fun of her, but I did not think, because she brought up the point about the paddles being too powerful. And this was maybe a year ago, maybe not quite.
July, yeah.
Yeah. And at that point still, I don't think they were that powerful at that point in time.
Yeah.
But now they have, I would honestly say they've times 2. They've doubled in power from what they were when she was complaining about them.
So Leia was in Utah last week, training with Callie, And I went and watched, and her and Callie were playing Todd Fote and Chuck Taylor, which clearly that's why Todd played so well, because he got to train with Leia and Callie. And Leia had one of the new paddles, and Chuck had one of the new paddles, new Yolas.
Yep.
And I think Leia's always had power for especially on the female side. She's always had good power. But the sound off that paddle is nuts. Well, Chuck his serves were out of control. Like the way those guys were ripping the ball, it has changed the game completely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
So they've got to do.
I still stand by it. They are harder to control. I mean, if you're quick, you can get out of the way. You see a lot of these people missing them, but I mean, a lot of people are complaining about the dangers to the face, to the eyes, and it's a real possibility.
Did you know when we did our combine, Rachel Retger, who's definitely not known for her power, right? She's using one of the new Yola Alphas, and she hits a couple balls with it, and Jason Peary walks over and he says, "Hey, her paddle's delaminated." And I said, "I don't think it is. That's how the new Yolas sound." Yeah. This was right when they came out. This was in January, right when the pros got them. And he's like, no, that thing is delaminated. And I was like, "Jason, I think that's just how they sound." And so he walks over to Rachel and says, "Hey, I think your paddle's delaminated." And she's like, "It's not, like, it's new. That's just how the new Yolas sound." And he's like, no, the way the ball's coming off, like it's, and she's like, "Well, I'll go get a new one." So she goes and gets one, unwraps it right in front of us, right? First ball she hits, same sound, same noise, same everything. And Jason's like, "Oh, yeah." So, I mean, right out of the wrapping, they do act almost like a delaminated paddle. It's crazy.
So we'll see. We'll see if there's actually regulations and rules that are put towards those. I honestly think there needs to be a stat right away. Yeah. But I would imagine realistically they would go into play at the end of this year. Yeah. They're going to wait a while.
Well, they have to because right now how many of those paddles are currently being produced, and you're going to cost these companies millions of dollars. And unfortunately, you want to be a good partner to these companies, so you need to give them a warning and new specifications.
Yeah, but I think a lot of them are very well aware that this could be happening soon.
For sure. But
Okay. People are talking about the Tyson trade. We've kind of touched on that. Somebody said, "How many titles do you see Annalie and Ben each getting?"
So Ben has told us he's going to retire at 30. He's 25 right now. He's got a little over 100 titles. Right? He got his 100 before Annalie. So I would say that Ben could realistically, I mean, he would have to win 20 titles a year for the next 5 years to get to 200. But he does get 3 events to do it. So if he plays 25 events, that's 75 opportunities a year.
We doing some math? KOTC math right now?
75 opportunities a year. He'd have to win 20 of those. So that's less than 30%. That's probably like 25%. So yeah, I think Ben gets 200.
Okay. Annalie.
I mean, depending on how long she plays, she could get 300.
Yeah, but how long? 5+ years?
Well, she's got 25 a year guaranteed in singles.
Well, she's not playing 25 tournaments.
Okay. But she's got 20 a year guaranteed in singles right now. Yeah. Probably 15 to 20 guaranteed in women's doubles, and probably another. I mean, honestly, she could win 50 a year or more. Yeah. She could legitimately win 50 to 60.
The only thing I'll say is it should get harder as
I hope so. Yeah. One thing she won't win this year is an MLP title with that team.
Okay, somebody said, "Relatively new listener on the pod. Link in bio to the Discord is expired." So
will you explain
make
this,
sure
please?
to check the latest YouTube videos. Those will have the link to the current Discord. I believe the Discord links, they expire after like 3 or 4 days. So if you watch one of these videos after a week or so, that link should be expired. But if you go to our most recent episode, it should, in the description, have the most recent link to the Discord.
Yes, what he said.
You woke up and chose hate yesterday in the Discord.
The Discord is funny. Like, I don't know why. We were talking about starting it for a really long time. I owe a lot to the original Discord that I was a part of. A lot of really cool people that I met in there. And so, yeah, when we decided to start it, one, I didn't realize, like...
Who are your top 3 favorite personalities in the Discord?
And ours?
Yeah.
The mom, definitely.
Volnatic has to be up there.
Volnatic is... I feel like Volnatic is more like he's a volume guy. I don't know if he has a job.
He's a lawyer. He says he's a lawyer.
That makes sense. He's very Klaus-esque in the Discord. He's actually nice, super nice.
And then who else is there? Rapetsky?
Rapetsky's nice. Drawmaniac is great. I mean, Pickleball Karen, she's local, so I like her. Yeah. I mean,
all right, somebody said
everybody's nice.
With Augie's insane men's run at North Carolina, does Tyler still think JW's team is a B-? LOL. Let's give him a B now.
Oh, okay. Upgraded?
Did you give him B+ or B? You said in the B range.
Yeah, I can't remember, but
the only thing, and I still say this, I'd like to see this continue to happen for a couple more tournaments.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, he didn't get out of qualies in mixed. Yeah. Let's just be clear. Which is really interesting. Now, I don't know who his partner was, but that's interesting. Hopefully he has enough points now where he doesn't have to play.
But I like Augie. Augie's cool. He's super nice. Yeah. Super nice.
Hopefully
him and Craig are insanely nice. I like those Arizona guys.
Oh, you almost said arrogant guys.
I do like those arrogant guys as well. All right, somebody said, is wind, weather too much of a factor? Is there a serious call for PPA MLP to be indoors? I hope so.
Yeah, you want it indoors.
I've always been promoting this. I don't think every single tournament needs to be indoors, but it'd be awesome if there was, 50 to 70% indoors?
Wasn't Nunnery, too, that said he thinks pickleball should be an indoor sport?
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at it from a production standpoint, it 100% makes sense to do it indoors.
Well, you look at Orchard Pickleball and you look at their production and their facility and how good that they're able to have replays and other things because they're not moving things around.
So a lot of people use Ben as the excuse why PPA hasn't moved indoors because Ben doesn't like indoors. He doesn't like indoors, but I think if they can get the lighting right, then he's fine with indoors. Yeah. It's the lighting that affects with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody said, can a premier team acquire, call up, trade for, etc. if it wants a challenger player in 2024?
You can, actually. Interestingly enough, there was almost a trade between Premier and Challenger that involved Tyson. And yeah, so you can do that. I mean, it kind of sucks for the player or one of the players if you're like going from Premier to Challenger, but that does happen. That is a possibility. So yeah. There's a lot of MLP rules and things that they need to still.
Okay, maybe you can enlighten me on this. I do not know the answer to this. Somebody said, what are the details of the new Johnson 5 contract? Can they play PPA again or just MLP? Because they were playing in this last tournament.
No, they're officially signed with both. So they can play MLP and PPA. They had already agreed to play this most recent PPA or APP. And so moving forward, I think the SQ had already gotten permission as well. So moving forward, it's my understanding that they are done with APPs.
So I heard that as well, especially for the Diescu one. But somebody said that Diescu was like at the grand opening for their new facility APP is doing. And it seems weird if he was switching back to PPA that Ken Herman would have him out there for the grand opening.
Yeah, but he's been a great steward for APP, and I don't think that there's like any hard feelings there. And maybe the SQ has a carve out where he can play some APPs, but I was under the assumption and was told that he's done with APPs and the Johnsons are also done. Here's a weird thing, okay? Dylan was in North Carolina doing a clinic, and he was supposed to play mixed with Tyra, and he withdrew that day and then flew home and played APP. And I don't think Tyra knew that he was withdrawing. I don't know that for sure, but.
Well, I feel like you do. I feel like you talk to her a fair amount. So
okay, well, I think that's messed up.
So she did not know that he was withdrawing.
No, she didn't. That's weird.
Okay.
And he was in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Right? That's weird to me. And then went and played APP.
Yeah. How many pros do you think are in the Discord, our Discord?
Oh, there's a few. And there's some that are undercover. Also, I mean, should have been Sports Center top 10. Freaking Slutsky.
Yeah.
The diving ATP.
Yeah.
He's in the Discord.
Let's go.
There's a few. And there's a lot that that are in there that don't want to be
named.
That we know.
Okay. A few more questions. Thank you to the mom for compiling this list from the Discord. You rock. All right. Bacon says, opinion on a healthier choice to hydrate and absorb electrolytes not full of sugar.
What a great question, because in about a week or so, we will have
a new sponsor for you guys.
A new sponsor that will help you hydrate. Just wait. We've been waiting for this.
We actually have been waiting for four months
because we did not want to back. One, we didn't want to back something that wasn't perfect and we didn't truly believe in. And two, they wanted to get it perfect before they brought it to market. So just wait, and we will have the ultimate hydration solution for pickleball.
Use our code KOTC.
And of course, there'll be a KOTC code.
All right. Rain says, do we think stacking will start to go away at some point? In my opinion, it's only going to get stronger.
I think so too, because I think people are starting to specialize on left and right side players.
There was one person that I heard that plays pro, Thomas Wilson, that I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, that he said he wanted to play straight up.
Yeah.
That's the only pro, and I don't know if it's true or not, that has said he wants to play straight up.
Here's the thing is, with the power of paddles and how good people are at driving the ball, it is getting harder to unwind the stack.
Yeah, but you can start on the other side.
Yes,
so there's ways around it.
Yeah, for sure. But it is getting harder to unwind the stack. I agree.
People are going to make fun of me, especially my coach, Coach Perry, but I like it when people are driving balls at me. I like it.
Julian doesn't. He
I know. I would say most people don't.
Julian can't block a ball to save his life.
But I like it when people drive balls at me, because if it is not perfect, I'm blocking it back for almost a winner.
You know what I think?
What do you think, Jimmy?
I think Julian should get in his penthouse with a paddle, and Lauren should rip balls at him.
Hey, as long as they film it, that'd be great.
They will. Believe me, nothing gets done without. And she should rip balls at him, and he should practice his blocks.
Julian is great. He's great. He is so funny.
I'm sure he's funny.
His comments are incredible. We were playing in one of our matches, and the guy tries to speed him up down the line, and he blocks it back for a winner, and he just says no. No.
Did you say vamonos?
No, I didn't. And then the other time, he does an ATP, and he turns around in slow motion, not normal, but in slow motion, and he does the...
Oh, my gosh. What's the best line?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. What's the best line that people use?
Everybody says C right now. C. Come on.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is cultural appropriation.
Like, who can use that? Jaume?
He can. But James Ignatowicz, I don't think he's Spanish.
No, he's not.
No.
So. What's Ignatowicz? It's got to be like German.
Something European.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, Rettenmeyer had a good weekend.
He did. He withdrew out of singles.
Yeah.
He beat me in mixed doubles. He was with Etta.
Probably couldn't find a shirt.
And then men's doubles.
Him and Connor Annette lost 12-10.
In the quarters to Federico and Pablo.
I think it was 12-10, 12-10.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he had a good weekend. He had a nice run. What do you think Travis should be in? You think he's a premier level player?
It's so tough to say, because to me, it depends on the team that you're partnering them with.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a talented player for sure, but there's a lot of talented players. I think DJ's good. I think Rafa's good.
Yeah.
I think Eric Lang, he's good. Rafa. I mean, there's a lot of players that could for sure be challenger.
Bro, you know who loves me?
Travis?
No. Rafa's mom.
Tyson?
Rafa's mom. Shout out Rafa's mom. I'm a big freaking Rafa Hewitt.
Can you just apologize to Tyson?
Mom.
One time.
For what?
One time.
Yes, Tyson, if you come on the pod, I will apologize to you in person.
Do you think he's actually he's a good guy, but somebody is controlling his every move?
What, like
Big Pickle or something like that?
No, I think that he is actually, truthfully. So here's the thing: when you take the moral high ground on something, you can never just make any disparaging marks for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the rule. Okay, I'm just telling you that right now. So he's going to take the moral high ground on all these things and talk about how great and wonderful he is, which is fine. But now he can never go on his pod and talk about anybody else ever again, even though he's done that in the past. Mm-hmm. Okay. I actually think that he probably is a nice guy. I actually think that he probably does have, I'm sure he is a wonderful dad, right? I mean, I'm sure he's a great husband. I'm sure he does all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would never doubt that in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But with that being said, I just think that he's not like just pretending that he's 100% innocent in the whole situation is what rubs me wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
You know what I was thinking? Maybe he has my phone number blocked, and so he didn't even receive the text.
Did it say delivered?
It did.
Okay, so
but I don't know how being blocked works. Maybe I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
I don't know, but now he doesn't have to respond. You know what would make him the bigger person is if he responded now and said, "Hey, I'm sorry it didn't work out. I just didn't feel like in this particular situation that I could focus on my game."
How hard would that be?
You. Well, clearly it's very difficult. But now you won't hear anything. And
we keep talking about this. We need to move on. But the funniest thing I'll say is when he was going off on me in Cincinnati, he was saying I was irrelevant, that nobody cares about me, that I lose every single time. And for somebody who fits that description of what he was portraying, we seem to be getting under his skin a little bit.
Yeah, and that's why, like I said, I'm not here to like just try and like be mean-spirited and be some sort of schoolyard bully. But don't pretend that like you're 100% innocent in this whole situation. And he is the one that forced the trade. And that's what we're going to talk about. If somebody that I was very close to, if you were the one that forced the trade, I would sit here and say the same things about you. Mm-hmm. You know, so at the end of the day, like he got it. It worked out. It worked out for everybody. I don't think Connor Pardo, if I were him, I'd be very happy. Because again, if anybody was public enemy number one to me as a player, if I'm Connor Pardo, it would be Tyson McGuffin.
I think they thought because they went to Necker Island with him.
Yeah.
And I heard that, I mean, people all got along for the most part at Necker Island.
And
so I think they were thinking that he would be an adult and be able to work things out.
Yeah. And like, again, like if Tyson doesn't make the choice to go to MLP, then we probably are never in this situation to begin with.
Yeah.
And so for the fact that like Connor still selected Tyson and still, you know, I think that he's the one that probably should be the most pissed about this. Mm-hmm. But
he came out with $50K on top.
But I guess he came out with money and he didn't spend any money, and his team is probably better because they're actually going to get along and Jay's going to play hard.
Yeah.
And yeah, in the end, we'll see how things play out.
Okay, last question. Is PPA actually this is from Value Robot in our Discord, is PPA actually putting in any effort to make replays more effective?
I heard that they've been talking to Hawkeye. I don't know if that's true. Mm-hmm. I just know that it's really expensive. And the other thing is when we've talked about this, is when you're moving from location to location, it's hard to have any sort of permanent replay solution because every location you move to, you're setting up new cameras, new everything. And I just don't know if it's like super cost effective. Mm-hmm. It's not like any of these are permanent, you know, like even like tennis stadiums, right? Like they're permanent locations.
Yeah.
Where a lot of these pickleball ones are not.
Oh, by the way, one of the GS courts, I don't know how somebody noticed it, but apparently one of the kitchen lines or the back line was like 6 inches too short or something.
They played 4 matches on it.
Yeah. But, I mean, same thing happened in the women's NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
the three-point line was messed up. And so, I mean, mistakes happen.
Someone needs to get a new measuring tape.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Anything else, Jimmy?
No. I mean, big week. We got Houston coming up.
Yeah, we'll try to do a preview for that.
Draws are out.
I'm with Alshon. And then Christian. With Lena Padigamite.
Oh, I like Lena.
Yeah.
You and Lena,
So
Christian?
Me and Lena, I actually like our draw. It's decent. And then me and Christian, I think we have a fairly tough draw.
Who do you play?
I can't remember our first round, but then we'll play Zane and Travis if we win.
Okay.
Yeah, our second round.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Good.
And then I think the winners of that will play Matt and James, assuming they win.
Okay. Well, we can get that done.
Alrighty. Thank you for following along. If you've made it thus far, please do us a big favor. Hit that like and subscribe button. Also, a big shout out to our sponsors. We got the Pickler, best indoor facilities.
Jorge Barragan.
Pickleball Central. Use code KOTC. C&D Pickleball Nets, Vulcan Pickleball.
Yeah.
And we have a new sponsor.
Coming soon. And Reset is still great.
We love
Check
Reset.
it out.
Okay. All right. See you guys.